the boy who looked death in the eye and asked for the truth. From the sacred Katha Upanishad. Long ago, in the age when sacred fires still burned bright beneath open skies and the hymns of the Vedas echoed through forest hermitages, there lived a young boy named Nachiketa. His father was a sage named Vājaśravasa, also called Aruni, a man known for performing grand sacrifices to earn merit and heavenly reward. One day, desiring spiritual merit and fame among the learned, Vājaśravasa began a great sacrifice called the Visvajit Yajna, a ritual in which one must give away all possessions. The sacred fire blazed. Priests chanted. Offerings were poured. Cows were brought forward to be given as gifts to Brahmins. But young Nachiketa, though only a boy, watched closely. The cows his father was giving away were old, their milk dried up, their teeth worn down, their strength gone. They had eaten their last grass and drunk their last water. They could no longer give milk or bear calves. Nachiketa's heart stirred with unease. A gift should be worthy, he thought. How can merit arise from giving what is useless? He approached his father gently. Father, he asked, to whom will you give me? His father did not answer. Nachiketa asked again. Father, to whom will you give me? Still no answer. A third time, with childlike innocence but piercing sincerity, he asked, Father, to whom will you give me? Irritated, embarrassed before the priests, and stung by the boy's persistent truthfulness, Vājaśravasa snapped in anger. I give you to death. The words fell heavy into the air. Silence followed. The father's anger cooled almost at once. But a spoken word in a sacrifice holds power. Nachiketa bowed quietly. He did not weep. He did not protest. Many before me have gone to death, he reflected. Many yet will go. Like corn, a person ripens and falls. And like corn, he is born again. Nachiketa set forth to meet Yama, the Lord of Death, through forests and across unseen paths that mortals rarely tread. The boy journeyed until he reached the abode of Yama, ruler of righteousness and guardian of departed souls. But Yama was not home. Nachiketa waited. 1 day passed, 2 days passed, 3 days passed. The boy neither ate nor drank. He did not complain. He simply waited at the threshold of death, patient and steady. When Yama returned and learned that a Brahmin boy had waited unfed in his house for 3 nights, he was troubled. A guest is sacred, Yama declared. He is like fire itself. To neglect him brings misfortune. Approaching the boy with reverence, Yama said, O noble one, you have dwelt in my house for 3 nights without food. To atone for this, I grant you 3 boons, 1 for each night. Nachiketa bowed. For my first boon, Nachiketa said, may my father's anger vanish. When I return, may he recognize me, welcome me with love, and sleep peacefully. Yama smiled. So be it. Your father will sleep free from anger. When he sees you released from the jaws of death, he will embrace you as before. For my second boon, said Nachiketa, teach me the sacred fire sacrifice that leads to heaven, the fire by which one transcends sorrow. Yama was pleased. The boy asked not for toys, not for pleasure, but for sacred knowledge. Patiently, Yama described the fire altar, how it must be built, how many bricks, how arranged, what mantras to chant. Nachiketa listened carefully and repeated it perfectly. Delighted, Yama proclaimed, this fire shall henceforth be known as the Nachiketa fire, and I give you this necklace of many forms. But Nachiketa's eyes remained steady. There was still 1 boon left. Nachiketa spoke softly. Some say that after death a person continues to exist. Others say he does not. I wish to know the truth. What happens after we die? The air grew still. Even death himself paused. Yama replied carefully. Even the gods once doubted this. The truth is subtle and difficult. Ask for sons who live 100 years. Ask for wealth, cattle, elephants, gold. Ask for a vast kingdom. But do not ask me about death. Nachiketa did not waver. Yama pressed further. I can make you lord of long life. Choose beautiful maidens with chariots and musical instruments, pleasures beyond mortal reach. I grant you power, prosperity, and long years. But do not ask about what lies beyond death. Silks shimmered, celestial music echoed, treasures gleamed. But the boy who stood before death had eyes fixed on something deeper. Nachiketa answered, "All these pleasures, O death, last but a day. They wear out the senses. Even the longest life is short. Keep your chariots, your songs, your dance. No wealth can satisfy human being. Only the knowledge of what lies beyond death can satisfy me. This boon alone I choose." Yam looked upon the child and saw not a child but a seeker. Yam said, "Two paths lie before every person. The pleasant, Preya, and the good, Shreya. The wise choose the good, the foolish choose the pleasant." Nachiketa had chosen the good. Yam continued, "The self, Atman, is not born, nor does it die. It did not come from anywhere, nor did anything come from it. Unborn, eternal, ancient, it is not slain when the body is slain." He spoke of the self as the rider, the body as the chariot, the intellect as the charioteer, and the mind as the reins. The senses were the horses, and the world their road. One who lacks understanding lets the senses run wild and reaches not the goal. But one who holds the reins firmly, guided by wisdom, reaches the highest state. Smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest, the self dwells in the heart of every being. The one who knows this, free from desire and sorrow, sees the glory of the self. Yam revealed that the ignorant wander in cycles of birth and death, believing themselves wise. But those who realize the self become free. This self cannot be known through much learning alone, nor by intellect alone. It reveals itself to the one whom it chooses, to the one who longs for it with purity. Nachiketa listened as if drinking immortal nectar. Yam described the sacred syllable Om, the bow, the self, the arrow, Brahman, the target. He taught that beyond all pleasures, beyond heaven itself, lies the realization of unity with the eternal reality, Brahman. When one knows the self, fear vanishes, death loses its sting, the cycle of rebirth ends. The wise one becomes free when all desires that dwell in the heart fall away. Then the mortal becomes immortal and attains Brahman here. Silence filled the space between teacher and student. Nachiketa had asked the deepest question, and he had received the deepest answer. Yam released the boy, granting the third boon fulfilled. Nachiketa returned to his father as promised. Vājaśravasa embraced him with tears of joy. His anger dissolved. But Nachiketa was changed. He had looked death in the eye and found not terror, but truth. He had learned that the self is eternal, untouched by flame, unslain by weapons, undrowned by water. And thus the scripture concludes, Nachiketa, having learned this knowledge from death, became free from desire and sorrow. So too does anyone who knows this secret of the self. And so, dear listener, as you drift towards sleep, remember the boy who is not tempted by gold or long life. He wanted only the truth. And because he chose the good over the pleasant, because he sought what does not fade, he discovered that what we truly are was never born and will never die.